A lot of people have been mentioning that the superhero genre has been a bit stagnant as of recently. People have been saying that right now we have like superhero movie fatigue or Marvel fatigue or DC or comic book movie fatigue. I mean, there has been words spreading around of people who actually have that mentality. And I don't think that that's 100% true. I feel like there's a lot of good comic book movies that get bad reviews and end up being good in the long run, or vice versa. I think it really it's a bit of a mixed bag as of recently. But there is one common denominator, is that every film has different perspectives, different people who actually look at the film and think of it differently than others. And I feel like I'm part of that, spectrum of people that can look at a movie such as Supergirl and see both good and bad, but also find some common ground. Now, yes, I am talking about the new Supergirl movie. I think it's a movie that I have been thinking about going. I mean, I saw the first trailer, didn't super interest me. Then the second trailer came out, and I was like, okay, maybe there's some substance here that might attract me to it. And then I saw the third trailer, and I was like, okay, now they got my attention. I need to get a ticket. So I did, and luckily today I actually got to sit down and actually watch the movie. I also watched today as well, Disclosure Day. Now, obviously, by the time that you guys are going to see it, Disclosure Day is going to be another movie that I'm going to be talking about next week. So this week I'm focusing on Supergirl, and next week I will be talking about Disclosure Day because I feel like that's a movie that I can talk about on a different time. But because this movie came out this week, let's talk about it. Now, I do have to apologize. I do believe my throat is a little bit hoarse, so you're probably going to have to deal with my sort of gravelly voice here for a little bit. But let's talk about Supergirl. And I feel like it's fair enough that I can actually confirm three very basic things that every single person says is great about this movie. So first off, obviously, Milly Alcock. Incredible. As Supergirl, she is incredible. I do believe that character has a bit of an arc. I'm happy that from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, we see a change in her attitude, in the way that she leads life. I think that's a positive thing. It's a positive note where we're seeing the changing of a character that has been through a lot of loss and is now trying to regain that. So I feel like her sort of hero's journey throughout the movie actually is a good thing. It isn't forced or anything. I feel like we're seeing a genuine hero trying to go through the journey there. So in that part, Milly Alcock, absolutely amazing. Can't wait to see her in Man of Tomorrow, which comes out next year. Second thing that worked in this movie that I feel like a lot of people said, but I'm gonna have to agree. Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa in this movie was really funny. I think that character is sort of built for him in a way. A lot of people have said that it was his dream to play this role, that this role was something that has always kind of piqued his interest, and now he finally gets a chance to play the role. I'm really glad he got to play the role because he is a great actor, and it's fun to see him just having fun. Now, do I think that this character is essential for this movie? Not really. He's more of a comic relief of the movie. We see action scenes with him, which are pretty cool, and I agree, they're fun, and seeing him, sort of work together with Kara to defeat these bad guys, fun. It was fun. I'm he's not an essential pillar of this film, but I think it was fun to see him play this character. And I think for the third and final factor that I think that a lot of people have been saying about this movie, and I do have to agree, is that we actually get to see parts of, Kara's childhood in a way. I feel like being able to go to Krypton and see, as it's collapsing, the fact that this, area that was collapsing, and then this one bubble sphere is what was saved from Krypton and is floating in space. And ultimately that's why we there's a 10-year gap between Kara and Kal-El, Superman, so Supergirl and Superman, obviously, and seeing that gap, and trying to bridge that story between like her childhood on Krypton versus, arriving on Earth. I think that was a really interesting sort of transition here. And seeing, getting to see David Cornsweet on screen, that's a huge plus for me. I think, getting to see him interact with his cousin and see that, they're family. So, I mean, like, he misses home just as much as she does, even though he doesn't remember home the same way she does. She spent her time with Kryptonians, with people who actually speak the language and have this cohesive connection to Krypton, while Clark did not have that. So I feel like seeing her have this entire scene, which I think is probably one of the best scenes in this movie, is actually her, Milly Alcock, actually speaking in Kryptonian along with her father and having this really deep conversation about, loss and trying to, move on and sort of like trying to find some middle ground because she doesn't want to leave her family. So I love that. I loved seeing that. Having this Kryptonian moment in the movie was absolutely awesome, and I think that was probably one of the biggest moments in the movie. Now, as much as I do have to say that this movie, these three basic things that are essential, and I think some not so essential, but still really good positive things about this movie, as much as it has those, and obviously I talk about cinematography sometimes, I just absolutely love that as well. Shots that, visual effects that some people might think, oh, it's a bit, kind of like off and it doesn't look good because obviously it's computer generated or whatever. I feel like this movie, as much as it could possibly throw all these visual effects out there, I think they do a pretty good job handling the visual effects of this movie, because otherwise I feel like it would be either too forced or not subtle enough. But I feel like this, it strikes a good common ground, because there's a lot of action in this movie, not so much action that it's like mind-blowing, but there's a good amount of action in this movie. So being able to see those play out in the movie the way they do is pretty cool as well. So I feel like that's a plus for the visual effects of this movie and cinematography as well. So you might be wondering to yourself, what exactly did I not like about this movie? Because before I actually went to see this movie in theaters, I saw everybody's reviews and everybody said something negative about this movie. Everybody said something negative. It's baffling to me the number of people that said more negative things than positive things about this movie. But I feel like it kind of worked 50-50 for me, this movie. It's not a bad movie at all. It's not a terrible movie at all. I've seen terrible movie. I mean, I don't like to think about it, but Madam Web, Jesus Christ. Like, if you're gonna have bad, think of the Sony films that came out that had absolutely nothing of substance and maybe one or two action sequences. This is way better than any of that crap. So I feel like they did a great job, but there are caveats here. I think the first and most important caveat here is the way this story is structured. I think that a story needs to be structured simple. It's beginning, middle, and end. Sure, you want to have the middle where you have seeing Kara in her sort of drunk state, and you want to see how she progresses from one part of the movie to the other. I wanted in this movie that first Kryptonian part. I wanted to have her sort of narrate her beginning. So I mean, let's start off in Krypton. We're gonna see her, being born with her family and this beautiful moment and all of that. And obviously, then we slowly start to realize everything that's happening. Krypton had, been destroyed, and she's living in this floating sort of, I feel like just a chunk of Krypton is the best way to put it, in this dome, and ultimately, seeing her upcoming and seeing her, understanding the world. And obviously we get little bits of that, but we get that in the middle of the movie. Let's start the movie off there. Let's get everybody's emotions riled up. Let's give people like her and Crypto, and both of them like growing up, and why she has such a good like connection with Crypto, and why Crypto is so important to her, than to like, let's say Clark. Clark, he likes Crypto, but it's not his dog. It's Kara's dog. So I wish they had restructured this movie. You know, put that middle part with Krypton in the beginning. Then we get a little bit of, her and Clark on Earth, and obviously like Clark trying to teach her English, and sort of like going through the motion. Like, I would have loved to see her like day-to-day life with Clark, and sort of like how they built their relationship. Sure, it's his cousin, but I want to know, like, how did he teach her English? How did she get along with people? How did she navigate the world? And what led her to becoming this sort of like trashy kind of drunkard? I wish we could have that. Like, what caused her to be that, other than, being flown away from home? That's something I would love to see. Another thing that I would have loved to see, I would have loved to see her on Earth, after a while, and after having spoken in English and everything. I would have loved to see her go back, like fly back to her, that dome in which that family, her family was, and see if anybody was still around, if anybody was alive, if there was a chance to take these people out of that planet and bring them to Earth. Like, I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see that. That would have been like an opportunity to truly like connect us emotionally to her. Because otherwise, in the beginning of this movie, there is no emotional connection to Kara, other than, yeah, she's a drunkard. Yeah, this is it. This is that. Like, you want to fall in love with the character. Like, I don't have to tell you the origin story of Clark Kent, but I feel like most people don't know that Kara's story is different. And obviously, in this case, they wanted to make her a bit trashy, a bit loose, that sort of thing. I get it. You want to make her different and a bit rebellious. Fine. But I feel like I would have been more compassionate to her at the beginning of the movie if we saw that play out over time. Unfortunately, that's not how this movie is structured, and I feel like that kind of deducts sort of a point, per se, of this movie. Another thing I feel like was a bit of a downfall, yet I can't fully say I disliked, was the music choice. A lot of people have been complaining about the music choice of this movie, and sometimes I agree. Sometimes the music isn't quite what I expect. Like, Kara playing a rock song, but the rock song just doesn't hit the vibe you want of the scene. But I feel like maybe like 50% of the music of this movie was a bit like of a downer. The other 50% was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't terrible. I'm not gonna say that it was perfect, but like, it was better than what I expected. Other than what people were saying, like, oh, the music choice sucked. Some of the music actually hits. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the music actually hits. Other parts just kind of like lose you in the moment. And another thing I have to complain about as well is this villain that she has to deal with. Who, the best way I can put it is that he's like dare I say it, a space gimp. Like, this guy, honestly, like, is this the best like enemy you could have thought of to fight against Kara? Like, yeah, I mean, like, he kind of hit like a flat note for me. Like, I wish it would have been a little bit more of an enemy where we have to kind of like be afraid of this guy, and he doesn't give off like scary vibes. Like, the best way I can describe it is that he's sort of like the first like enemy that we see. Like, I think it's Ronan the Destroyer from Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, that's the best way I can put it. Like, he is the closest thing to a Ronan the Destroyer that you could possibly think about. So I feel like that enemy in and of itself wasn't super impactful and didn't really instigate any sort of like, man, this guy's tough. Like, it just didn't hit that way. So I feel like they should have gotten at least a different kind of enemy that would have been a much harder opponent in this case. And honestly, like, this guy just didn't click. Now, here is the big deal here. Now, here's the big part that I think is important. Everybody that I've heard said that this is a bad movie. I don't think this is a bad movie. I think this is a really good movie. The problem is that it's badly structured. It's not edited in such a way that you're like, oh, so there's like a beginning to this. Oh, there's like an actual, middle. There's an arc here. Oh, now I understand why she is the way she is. Like, mind you, this movie is like around an hour and 40 minutes. Dude, give us an extra 20 minutes of this movie. I'd be down for that. Give me an extra 20 minutes of this movie. Give me like her learning English with Clark, her day-to-day life, what led her to actually leave Earth and go out to be drunk all the time. Like, that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to see and I want to feel while I'm in theaters. I want that to be the case. I just want to, I want to feel an emotional attachment to the character. And I feel like as much as I didn't get that from this movie, I still had a whole lot of fun. So I feel like that is sort of like the middle ground here. Now, obviously, sure, we're going to see her in Man of Tomorrow. We're going to see more of Kara. And as a matter of fact, I am more excited about this character than I am about other characters in this movie. Like, honestly, like, for me, that is another critique that I wanted to add as well. This movie should have been more Supergirl and less side quest girl sort of way. Like, I wish it should have been more of, Supergirl. I want to see more of her. Like, that, I feel like I've already repeated myself like a million times already, saying the same thing. I wish this was more Supergirl movie and less side girl or side job girl or, side quest girl, whatever you want to call it. Now, something I never question to myself, like, does it play in my head, these questions? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I feel like after watching this movie, I was playing in my head a simple question, and that is, would I rewatch this movie? And the simple answer is yes. As a matter of fact, I would rewatch this movie because there's a lot of things to like here. I feel as much as, or as crazy as I may be when I say this, I think that people should go, and if you didn't like Supergirl, mind you, if you watched Supergirl, that's the prerequisite. If you saw Supergirl and did not like what you saw, I'd suggest you go back and rewatch this movie. Maybe not today, maybe not a month from now, maybe not even a year from now. Like, maybe 2 years from now, you say, you know what? I'm gonna pop in that movie that came out 2 years ago, which was Supergirl, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna watch it and actually absorb some of what I'm seeing. Trust me when I say this, like, there's a lot to like in this movie. Even though some of the story and its structure falls short, I think there's a lot to like here. But then again, those are my thoughts, my opinions, the way I think, the way my brain operates, and I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you down in the comments below, and I want to know, what did you think of Supergirl? Did you watch it? Did you not watch it? Is Supergirl on your radar? Did you, for some crazy reason, watch this movie and did not like it at all? And maybe you're going to give it a second shot and actually enjoy it? I don't know. I want to hear from you what you think down below. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified when new videos go live on this channel. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.
Scrolling through YouTube, same old routine, then bam, movie savant, what a scene. Trivia bombshells dropping knowledge like rain. Forget the dishes, gotta watch it again. Movie buffs unite, savants to place. Subscribe and hit the bell, don't leave a trace. Next level knowledge keeps you in the loop. Savants got the scoop, ain't nothing to recoup.